What's up, boys and girls? My name is Jeffery Scott Mitchell. I'm coming to you live on Memorex from a remote location. In the ultimate role location. Sitting here in a master suite at the Fairfield Inn in Boardman, Ohio. It's a Marriott hotel. I was thinking yesterday, okay, so I get to the game yesterday. Now, I know this is almost planned and orchestrated. I mean, I can't act like that, I'm oblivious to what's going on or if I even built this. So I get to the stadium, we get there, we get to our seats, and first of all, the seats are third row, 50-yard line on an aisle. I'm standing on the aisle, third row, right behind the Pittsburgh Steelers bench. Usually I like to get there. The gates to the stadium open up at 6:15, 2 hours before game time. I like to be there a half hour before that. So when the gates open, I get in there early because I like to spend, I paid all this money for a seat to sit down low, and there's a lot going on down low. You can see, the people, the administrators of the team, the football teams come out, the players, you're like right there, and they're like, right there with you. So, last time I went there to the game, Cleveland game, and, I had the seats and blah, 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 blah. And you just come around again. Let's go through my normal routine, grab my seat. So I get to the game. We get to the game, and I'm standing there, and this dude goes, P-Funk. And I look up, and I go, ah. And he said, he was like, P-Funk? And I was like, yeah. And I kind of looked down to see what I was wearing. I was just wearing regular Steeler gear. I had my jersey, but it was like tucked under my belt and hanging down. So I wasn't, P-Funking, I was Steelerin'. And he was like, P-Funk. I was like, yeah. He was like, we remember you from the last game. And I was like, whoa, wow, really? Really? I'm that guy? But then again, as I think about it, the seats I'm getting season ticket holder seats. Basically, I'm buying tickets off the season ticket holders. So pretty much they're going to be consistent. Because I was talking to one girl up there. She was saying, because they had a group of seats. They had them in their family, goes years back, previous stadium. They were on the visitor side, but they're Browns fans. And they had like a block of seats. And so one of the guys was telling me that I was in his seat. I was like, no, man, it happens all the time. And I showed him my ticket. And I'm saying, no, he was like, nope. He was just so kind of arrogant and sure about it, and I was like, okay, well, let me check. And I, took him, I went to my phone, website, blah, 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 and I showed him the ticket. Then he went and checked his. They have a block of seats. I got 6 seats in the season ticket holders. And the ticket he got wasn't for the aisle one. He got ticket number 19. So me and Jesse had 20, 21, and 20, and the seat he was supposed to be in was 19. He thought that he had got the 21 seat because they all own him. But anyway, so that's how close. So I'm usually sitting around, season ticket holders. But this one was in Cleveland, so I'm used to Pittsburgh Steelers season ticket holders. So I'm used to sitting around, season ticket holders. And when you sit down that low and you spend that kind of money to be that low, it's a different class of people. Let me just say that. I'm not sitting up in the nosebleeds. I ain't worried about fighting. I'm not worried about, the opposing team fans getting on me or nothing, because I'm in a definite upper class. When you go down that low, you're in the upper class. Totally different kind of people. They get drunk, and there's going to be a little bit of rowdiness, but nothing like this going up in the nosebleeds. So, and he was like, yeah, and I'm just I guess I'm telling this long drawn out story just to kind of talk to myself to the fact that's why he remembered me, because he's season ticket holder. If I'm there getting these same seats, he's going to be there too. And he was like, yeah, we remember you from last year. But then again, why would he remember me from last year? And I can't answer that question like I don't know why. This has been going on for a long, long, long time. I may have orchestrated this. I may have even made this happen. When I saw that this kind of thing was going on, I went at it, and I probably enhanced it so that it grew into what it is. So basically, it started with, I went to a game. I used to go to Pittsburgh Oakland games. And if you know anything about the Pittsburgh Oakland games, Oakland is dangerous. It's dangerous to go to a Oakland Raider game if you're opposing team. Literally, it's criminal and dangerous. They throwing bottles of piss and batteries, and it's just criminal. Some of the stuff that goes on in that stadium if you're the opposing team, we really never had any trouble coming out of there though, because again, we get better seats. So we sitting in a different level and we just let them go. But anyhow, so I used to go with my boy Rick. Now it was up in Oakland, so I was with him. So I was like under his guidance. So I really didn't have to do any thinking because he knew where he had the tickets. You know, I would pay him back for the tickets. So now back then I was poor. You know, I don't know if I paid him back or not. You know, I probably paid him back, but anyway. So I was like under his tutelage, or not protection, but I was under his guide, navigate. So I was able to be a little bit more, you know, kind of, you know, because I know he was taking care of a lot of stuff. And I noticed that I was getting attention for just being what I was doing. I was just doing what I usually do, and I was getting attention. And the thing about that attention that I always want to bring up is that I was wearing my P-Funk jersey, P-Funk 1 Steelers jersey, the infamous P-Funk 1 Steelers jersey. It's infamous. It's infamous now, if not famous. I gotta recognize, because too many people come back. See, this whole thing is about this. I have got, and I've said it before, I've got to start recognizing and maybe not denying something that may or may not be happening so that I can exploit it. If this is something I'm doing and I'm consistently doing it and it's growing into something, I don't even know what it is, if I should enjoy it. But anyway, I need to acknowledge it and admit that it's happening. So I wear the P-Funk jersey and I realize that I'm like walking down, you know, people tailgating, it's like, you know, they're you know, barbecuing, this music, and, you know, everybody's, you know, before the game is, you know, yeah, it's ready, blah, blah. So I'm walking down the thing, and since they see the P-Funk on my back, people were more apt to say P-Funk. People would just call me P-Funk. You know, like, now if my name was up there, if it was Jeffrey, I could see they probably wouldn't do that. They may not say Jeffrey, but I knew because it was P-Funk, I realized that people, they'll just say, hey, P-Funk, P-Funk. You know, they'll start singing like a funk song or something, you know. So, and they, you know, they're drinking, everybody's festive. So, and I'm festive. I'm like walking around, you know, I'm just being Jeffrey, doing whatever I was supposed to, you know, what I'm doing. And I hope I don't get too sidetracked from that, because I'm just being Jeffrey, doing whatever I was doing. And the man that I respect most on this planet ever, my father, the man that I respect most on this planet ever, my father, one of his things was acting a fool. You just don't do it. You just don't act a fool. That was his word, acting a fool. Look at him acting a fool. Look at him acting a fool. Not me. I'm just talking about, you know, anybody in general who, you know, is out there doing that, you know, just being, you know. And it's funny that the man that I respect more than anybody, the man who has done more for me than anybody, who has given me more, done more, and I'm not talking about, you know, financially or, you know, presence or upbringing. I'm talking genes and just how to walk and how to be that man, you know, how to be that guy, just from watching him, because he was like impeccable. As far as I know, because I mean, you got to be realistic. You know, there's some things that you're not going to know about your parents, and it's probably feels blasphemous to say that, but there's probably some stuff that I don't know. But as far as between me and that man, you know, he was perfect for me. I mean, it just, you know, the highest respect of any man ever. And one of his things was don't act a fool. And that's all I do. That's pretty much all I do is act a fool. And what I'm trying to say is I'm good at it. I'm really, really good at it. I get rewarded from it. I get energy coming back when I'm acting a fool. And it's not really acting a fool. It's more expressing what's inside of me in mega levels, just completely open, just whatever, you know, whatever. I can just be free and open. And I kind of call that acting a fool, because sometimes, you know, I do stray into areas where I'm just doing stuff just to be doing it, you know, but it feels good. And so I'm on beat, I'm rhythmic. And from that acting a fool, I started to notice people, I would get energy back, positive energy. I would get positive, like this or that, hey, P-Funk, you know, the energy coming back would be mostly positive. So it would kind of wind me up more and more and more. So I was with Rick, and I started to notice that I was able to, I don't want to say generate or trigger, but I started to learn how to use my animation and energy. I call it energy because I can't think of the word. And my gestures, my antics, whatever you want to call it, I started to learn how to use them. And then it got to the point, I'm gonna jump forward, but then it eventually got to the point where I was able to target and send it across the room. I started to learn how to, at people way across the room, and I could see by their reactions that they feel me. And then it got to I'm going way, way far. Now I'm at a point where I could just pretty much a whole auditorium, or I feel that way. And then I can just gaze and look, and I can see who's looking at me. And I learned how to manipulate or use that, whatever that is, that attention or whatever. So where was I going? I learned how to use that attention. So like when I was with Rick, I was able to relax, and I wasn't worried about navigating where I'm at. I'm in Oakland, where we're going, blah, blah. I was just able to be this, person. And I started to get, quote unquote, rewarded for it. I was rewarded. People were like, hey, hey, P-Funk, and they start doing this. And me, I'm Jeffery Scott Mitchell. So, and I do hold myself to a higher level. And so if it was disrespect or something that came off at me, I don't even want to use the word negatively, but if it was something that just didn't seem right, it came at me, I would feel it negatively. I just wouldn't it's just not any attention. I'm not about just any kind of attention. It has to be a certain kind of, and a certain feel that I get from it. And I started to notice I would get, like energy coming back. And I started to learn how to use that. Then I started to learn how to walk in a room and just kind of, and then get that back, and people, hey, whatever, white people and black people across the board. Cleveland Browns fans, Raider fans. I'm wearing Steelers colors and getting love or energy back or interaction or the attention of Raider fans in Oakland, and they say, oh, and they come up and, some of them, they're gratuitous or whatever. They're happy, whatever. I noticed whatever the energy, that acting the fool or whatever expression I'm doing was making people happy. I was like, oh, I can see they would get energized and hey, P-Funk. And they would just see, if my name was Jeffrey, I don't think they would just say Jeffrey, but since it was P-Funk, they just throw, hey, P-Funk. And I started to know how to do that. And then at P-Funk shows, I started to learn how to do it more and more. And using that, I don't want to say command or attention or whatever it is that I can have or do. And this recent summer coming up, it's been superfied or whatever. It's like over the top. Like right now, I'm just like hitting on all cylinders. I'm just yeah, with it. And this summer has just been from like last October, I think, from the Soul Funk Fest and P-Funk and traveling. And I'm just like, and not like in a, we keep going, man. I'm just like, hey, I don't, it's not like I'm the man or nothing. I don't even think of it that way. It's just that I know how to express this energy and put it out there. And I like the feeling when it comes back from when I'm, quote unquote, acting a fool. So, I get used to it, and I don't have to do nothing, but I think that it's a thing for me to acknowledge it, because it may be an asset or resource that I can exploit or may want to use, or and I don't like to use the word exploit, but to get the full maximized potential out of it, you got to acknowledge it and, say it exists, and then, work with it. So, all this is going on, and, I go to P-Funk shows and extraordinary things happen to me, and I just say extraordinary, not like, UFOs come down and get me, or I levitate or nothing, but things that just don't happen to regular people, and I'm used to it. I'm just used to these things happening to me now. And it's not like I'm a star or nothing. It's not like I'm some kind of celebrity or nothing, but I get mine, and I have to acknowledge that. Jeffrey, you're doing something. Don't be aware of it and use it as a tool or whatever. So, all this, so after they get the game, do was P-Funk, and I was like, yeah, I'm looking at people, they looking at me, and I'm seeing, like I can see younger kids or younger guys, looking at me and watching me. You start to get the feel of people watching you, and you get used to that. And then you put on a little show for them. You show them a little love. You kind of wink at them, just to get them, see they do. There was a little kid in front of me yesterday who was, he was, I was just animated. I was just, and he was kind of literally just mimicking what I was doing, when I was like, But yesterday, pregame, we get there and, team's coming out, it's like early, like 20, 15 minutes before kickoff, before the national anthem. And Tomlin comes out like he always does. And they was playing some music. And I was like, I was doing my thing, and I saw Tomlin coming out. I was like, I was like putting it on him, I was like, And then I saw him do a little thing like this, and I was like, and he went, and then I pointed at him like that, and he pointed at me, and then he went, I was, and it wasn't like I was blown away. It wasn't like I was in shock, but I was excited. I was like, yeah, buddy. And I was like, yeah. Because, you talk about, I'm third row, but it's still a huge stadium, and see, that's another thing. Even though it's a huge stadium, I'm realizing how far or easy my presence can be detected. So even though it's a big stadium and there's people around me, it wasn't like totally full, but, it wasn't, I get picked out of a crowd. I think I know how to get picked out of a crowd or whatever it is. I know how to be that central point or get that attention, or that it's like certain motions you do to get someone's attention. You can do something like that, and get their attention, or you can get something to put like a ease on it, or just kind of an excitement. You get to send the motion through body movement and eye contact, even at a long distance. So I saw him, and I was just clowning. I didn't think, I figured he'd glance and see me, but he saw me. He saw me, and he started. We was kind of like, I didn't even know what the song was, but we was kind of singing it together, and he kind of did his little, thing. And I was like, and he pointed at me, and he went like that. I was like, and then after I did, I was like, y'all see that? I turned around to everybody, Browns fans and everybody. Jesse was with me. I said, y'all see that? Did y'all see that? And everybody was like, yeah. And they kind of gave me some more. Since they saw that happen to me, they got excited and they gave me some more, whatever that thing is, that energy or that interaction. I need to do some work, y'all. I need to do some work. Here's what I'm gonna do. Okay. Yeah, so I get that energy back and that just thrills me. And that's another thing that I probably never said before. It thrills me and it energizes me. It makes me feel good. It's one of the best feelings. Well, I'm over exaggerating, but it's like it is probably one of the best feelings that I can generate for myself. That kind of getting that energy back, when they, like if, but sometimes like when Mr. Payne or Tony Cam or Norwood or somebody actually say my name on stage or doing a thing, and that's different. I like it, and especially if I'm recording to hear my name called out, I like it, but that's different. That's more overt. And I'm not really, the overt thing works, probably, whatever works means, but that's not what excites me so much. That's probably not what excites me, but it does. Hell, people calling your name on stage, get out of here. And that one time Mr. Payne called me out when he was on behalf and he was talking to everybody. He said my name kind of in that mix. On behalf of Elijah Curry and Greg Thomas, Menzel, and on behalf of it, and then he said, "Oh yeah, you Jeff Mitchell," or something. Because I'll be messing with him. Every time he come up there to say it, I go, "On behalf," or I'll mess with him. I've been messing with the P-Bunkies we've been messing with the P-Bunkies for 20 years. Some of y'all might just be getting on board, but we've been going down there because we had a boardroom where we knew they were watching. So we've been saying stuff and messing with them. I've been messing with Clip respectively and him messing up words or whatever when we used to worry about all that stuff. So we've had a connection with the band for a long time due to social media and the One Nation boardroom. So, we kind of know, so you just mess with them, I don't know why I got off sidetrack. But anyway. So after Tomlin did that, I was like, I can go home now. Boop, boop, boop. No, it was basically, and everybody saw it. It was documented. I turned around and said, y'all see that? Did y'all see that? That was me. Did y'all see that? It was like, yep. And then they got kind of excited, and all of our whole little group, and it was Browns and Steelers fans. I was like, yeah. So after that happened, rest of the game, oh my God, I'm sure I put on a show. And that's another thing I may or may not want to say to myself. Am I putting on a show? I'm definitely probably performing. There's no doubt I'm probably performing, but am I performing, or am I just being me? I'm definitely just expressing myself. I'm just being me. I'm not doing anything that I wouldn't do naturally, I don't think. So, and that I kind of equate with acting a fool, what my father would call it, because you're expressing your emotion, you're letting people know what you're thinking, you're showing excitement, you're not being, you're not being Mr. Clarence Mitchell-ish. You're like, you don't have that demeanor, that stoic, I don't know what the word is, but that, and I got that from his side of the family and from him. But on my mother's side of the family was a little bit more down to earth. They were a little bit more down to earth. They used ham hock in their greens, if you know what I mean. And we're on my father's side of the family, use Velveeta cheese in their macaroni and cheese. But to be the person I am, I believe I needed both sides. And it's not that I'm putting down, I need both sides of the family. I need that, because I wanted to be, well-rounded is one way to put it, but this is beyond well-rounded. This is capable. This is being more capable or higher than just well-rounded. You have an extra tool, extra weapons in your arsenal. So, after, Talma did that, I was there, and then I remember recently, like afterwards, I was at the other game. Remember the guy said he remembered me from the other game? At the other game, when I sit behind the bench, I always sit behind the Steeler bench, Tom comes out, and I'm out there doing this. And one time, they was playing Atomic Dog, and I saw him getting it to Atomic Dog, and I was like doing this, and I could have swore he was looking at me. Because like I said, I know, I'm looking around me, who's doing what, how much attention how my antics or my motion can be seen. I can almost guess how much my antics and my motion and what I'm doing can be seen from a distance. So I'm just like instantly gauging and calculating all that stuff as I'm out there doing it. And so the first day it was with Atomic Dog, and I went, oh! In fact, he was looking. I know he was looking, because I turned around and I pointed at the P-Funk on my back just to let him see it. But he didn't acknowledge it. He just kind of, but this time he probably remembered me. Now, see, I don't know if he did or not, and it kind of don't matter if he did or not. And in fact, I like it that I don't know if he did or not, But this time he was like, and he literally, I got one of them from Mike Tomlin pregame. And then I posted that I did that because I was in the stadium. So I was like, I posted it, because I just kind of, rushed posted it. And somebody said, yeah, George Clinton and Mike Tomlin. And I have to say, many of you know that my views on black people may or may not rub some people wrong because of the things that I celebrate or point out in black culture that a lot of people seem to think are negative or demeaning. There's certain things in certain cultures that mainstream or certain people may consider primitive. But I realized that those cultures and some of those primitive things are just where the party's at. It's the best part. It's cooking with ham hock. It's eating the healthy. It's the little things that they do that you don't see in a gentrified, Beverly Hills or something. That's a totally different thing. But I got to go back here. I got to come back here to get some stuff. There's certain things I can't get anywhere else, and not just because it's Youngstown. Well, there's certain things that I can only get in Youngstown, but you got to like come off of Fifth Avenue sometimes and go down to Brooklyn or Harlem. I don't know what I'm talking about. So you got to go down to Crenshaw to get your rib tips. You know what I mean? So, and there's a lot of things in the black community that I point out, and the way I point them out, a lot of people say, oh, he's negative, or he's this, or he's that, he's sell out. He don't like black people, but anything. But I just celebrate some of what people may think are shortcomings in a lot of people's culture. So for me, it is kind of strange for me to look. No, I can't even say, I don't want to say that. I don't even want to say that. When I said the person I respect most was my father. He was a black man. And I probably shouldn't be saying this because this is getting really delicate. I be talking to y'all about a lot of stuff that sometimes I start running my mouth and I go down the hole. I don't care. I ain't scared no more. See what I'm saying? I used to be scared. Scared. I was apprehensive when I first started doing this like 20 years ago, just talking about anything I felt like talking about. And I've been doing this for so long that now it's like second nature throwing a camera on. In fact, look at me. I got 2 cameras. Who travels and takes 2 cameras with them and can like do 2 camera stuff in a hotel room? Oh, excuse me. Not a hotel room, a master suite at the Marriott. No more. No, I take that back. I did a 2-star the other night because I did a 2-star. I did a Super 8. I found a Super 8 here that was 2 stars, cheapy. I couldn't stay there regularly because the internet ain't that good. Because the reason I have to stay here is because the internet at the Marriott's are good because I work. But they had the fitness center, and it worked. They had a fitness center, and it was clean-ish. It was clean, and it was quiet, and it was cheap, $70 a night. This one was like $150. But look at it. If you can see it, I should show it to you. But that's a couch behind me. Look at that. Can you see that? That's a couch. Ooh, I'm going wrong. How come it's going like that? See, that's a couch, and this is a separate room, and it's a bed. It's a bed there. But where was I at? Now, see, I got to reposition my camera. Did I do it right? Yeah, there we go. So, what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. Couch, bed, master suite, Ohio, back here. I'm lost. I got lost again. It happens. Y'all know. Y'all watch these things. So, I mean, it just goes, and another thing, it seems like it keeps getting better. I'm like, 2017, best year of my life. 2018, best year of my life. 2019, best year of my life. I'm like, how can it keep getting better? I'm going to the same damn games, same damn P-Funk shows, but it keeps getting better and better and better. I'm like, how is that? How can something that I done did like 200 times or so many times keep getting better? It's because the experience that comes before it raises everything. So now it's like new territory. So now when I go back to a game after what Tomlin did, it's a whole new ball game now, brother. And the other game we went to, another thing I realized too, if you go as a Steeler fan, if I go to opposing, I'm not going to get on the big screen or get on TV as a visiting fan in a stadium. Now, if I go to the Steeler game, and it's packed and it's this, that, it's a little bit more competition to get on TV, but it's more of a chance for me to get on TV because the opposing team ain't going to be showing too many Steeler fans. I mean, that's just, that's just how they do it, And I even think the main feed for the game is facing the home team's bench. So if you're sitting on the visitor side, cameras aren't showing the play. You know how the camera shoots the play? It shoots towards the bench. So if I'm sitting, right behind the bench, every time they shoot that, I should be in the picture. But if I'm on the visitor side, I won't be. And in fact, when Ben's last game, we went to Ben's last game, we got on TV, Monday Night Football. We was on Monday Night Football for at least 2 seconds. They had a picture of me. I was standing there. I was on Monday Night Football. That means immortal. That means as long as the NFL and as long as that video's out, I'm there. The picture of me will be there. We are set in history. That is just, it was Ben's last game. There was cameras all over the place. That's part of NFL history. You can go to NFLreplay.com, NFL Plus, and hit the replay. Go to like a minute 4 left in that game. You'll see us standing there. So, and I guess another thing I want to say about that is that by acknowledging it and or just realizing it and acknowledging it, realizing and acknowledging it, I can use it as a tool now. If I keep ignoring it and say, it's nothing, it's nothing, it's nothing, I won't take it and try to use it as a tool to do whatever it is that I want to do. And as I recognize it and recognize these things, I recognize these things and I recognize these things, I take them, I put them in my bag, and it gets better and better and better. So every experience is higher and higher and higher. Because I'm like, how can I go from, I keep wanting to start at the Soul Food Crab Fest. I don't know why I want to start there. You notice how I always go back to that day? I got to look at my timeline and see when all this really started. Because I think it might have been before that. I think something might have happened before that. It might have been in the Funker's Ball, because they canceled the Soul Crab. But because the thing about the Soul Crab Fest was, it was a good show. It was a good show and thing. But the thing was about it, they had got a lot of the P-Funk alumni there. They had got a lot of the P-Funk alumni, and I'm looking at the lineup and I'm saying, this is damn near a funk mob. A funk mob. And notice I didn't say 420 funk mob. That'd be blasphemy to say something like that. But then again, a lot of the same players were there. That's what I'm saying. There was a lot of the same players there. So I'm going there. You had Greg Boyer, Greg Thomas, you had Benzel, you had Hampton. You had Garrett. I think Mr. Scheider was there. I think. I forget. But you know what I mean? When you get the core, you get certain aspects of the core mother band playing another thing together, you got to be there. You got to be there because you don't know what's going to happen. And it came out right, I think I recorded it. Did I? I should have. I better have took my, I think I recorded. How come I never listened to it? Did it come out right? Did I forget to listen to the recording? But anyway, I got video. Y'all see the videos. And not only am I documenting the P-Funk, and I'm able to, go around and get all the P-Funk I need. I'm get full of P-Funk because one day it's going in, y'all. One day, no matter what you say, it's going in. And I'm going to be able to say, hey, I got mine. I went out and I got mine. I don't know about y'all, but got his. So I say all that to say that. Just wanted to throw that on there about Mr. Tomlin yesterday. And him, I mean, think about it. Just think about it. But 2 months ago, or the San Diego show, Mr. Clinton, I'm talking to him, and, Mr. Tomlin, and, it's not that I think that these people are gods or worship them or nothing. It's their level. It's their position. You're getting close. This is not strategic, but it's like there's a hierarchy, and if you can get close to da-da-da-da-da, there's resources in there. And if you can get them to like you, woo, and if they like you based on what you're doing naturally anyway, and you're not fronting or you're not, faking it to get cuddly with anybody. And not only like Tomlin and, Mr. Clinton, and them two, I got to say thing about Black. Look at this. Okay, I forgot where I was. I had to take a call. Completely forgot where I was, what I was talking about. But, that's just, I don't know what I was saying. So should I wrap it up? Hell, I went 30 minutes. See how I can jump on this thing and just do 30 minutes off the top of my head? I did 40 the other day. Anyhow, my name is Jeffery Scott Mitchell, swinging on y'all 2 times. For me and for the phone. And for do y'all notice I say 2 times, but I say 3 things? I do that on purpose. I do little things like that on purpose. And I do little things like that on purpose. I do little things like that on purpose. I do little things like that on purpose. Just like this little thing I'm doing now. Just like this little thing I'm doing now. Just like this little thing I'm doing now. Swinging on y'all 2 times. For me and for the funk. And for every elementary particle that has ever existed in any atom of any universe that ever was, is, or will be. It's about the totality of it all, y'all. A theory of universe, a hypothesis of all is one. My name is Jeffery Scott Mitchell. My name is Jeffery Scott. Hey, y'all know who I am.